DXFleet has several options to change your prices. One of those options is to set the price at the time of fuel, and you would do that from here, settings, price. This will set the price at the pump, so future transactions will have a certain value for that product. Now, the other way to do it for proprietary card transactions would be to reprice existing transactions in DXFleet. This is something that you might do if you are changing the prices every month for the previous month, and you want to update based on the cost of fuel. Then you could come into DXFleet at the beginning of the next month and reprice the existing transaction for those proprietary card transactions in DXFleet. So to do that, you go to transactions, reprice. That'll bring you to this page here. And what we're looking at is we have a couple options. We have a date range. So what transactions are we going to reprice? So if I wanted last month, I could do the whole month here in this section. We have a site selection. So if I only wanted to do one site, and then we have an account selection here. So you could search the accounts, or you could check the box on the left of the here. If you want all accounts, you can check the box at the top. If you want only one account or two accounts, you could do that also. So you could just check the boxes for the ones that you want. On the right, what we're really repricing is the price for each product that's in DXFleet. So it's very important you know what product codes you're using for what product. For example, unleaded code 01. If I'm using code 01 for unleaded, then this is where I would change that price, and I would reprice the transactions for unleaded transactions. If I'm using diesel, I might be using diesel 1, I might be using diesel 2. It's important we reprice the right one, right? So before you go making changes, repricing, it's important you know what product codes you're looking at. You can go to the transactions page, and you can just find the transactions and view the codes on that page, and that'll tell you what the name of the product is. That might be helpful. You could also go to the pump configuration and look at the pump, like each pump configuration and what code is associated to that pump if you're unsure. Or you can call into support if you're just totally lost and you don't know which ones you're using. But basically, it's just important to know what product code you're going to reprice so that you don't reprice the wrong ones. It's also important to know that this is not undoable in the sense that you can reprice it again, but you can't bring another price. So if you were setting price at the time of fuel and you changed it throughout the week or throughout the month, and then you come in here and reprice everything to $1, those original values are gone, and you can't just undo this. So it will prompt you and tell you when you're repricing it. But just know that it's important to get it right the first time. You can reprice it again. So if you set the price wrong, you could just reprice it one more time. But if you reprice something on accident because you meaning to change the price instead of reprice, that's not really something that you can easily undo. So it's just important to know. So in order to do, all you need to do is come in here and put in the new number. So say I'm repricing to $1.75. I just put in $1.75 here, and then I can hit reprice. Once you do that, the way that this DXFleet works is it will run through all the transactions, and it'll basically do them fairly instantly. So if you reprice it, you could just go to your transactions page, search that transaction or that particular date range, and you will be able to see that the price is different. However, it will take time to show up on a report. The way that it works in DXFleet is the transactions will update on the Power BI reports about every 2. So when you make a price change, it kind of depends on when you catch that 2-hour window. If you catch it right before it processes the Power BI, then it may only take a few minutes to run that report and to see the reflected changes on those prices on the report. If you catch it right after it just ran, then you might need to wait a couple hours before you can run the report and see all of the new updated prices on the report. But if you're concerned if the reprice worked, an easy way to test it is to just go to export your transactions, and you'll see all the transactions for that account, and you'll see what price they're currently set in DXFleet. That's going to be real time. It's going to be pretty instant for them to show up on the export. And you can also do it on the transaction page and just filter the accounts or the transactions that you priced. And from there, you can see if the price is correct. So that's how you do the transaction reprice. Keep in mind that it will take time to update on the report. So if you don't see it for 2 hours or sometimes maybe even 3, depending on how many transactions you're repricing, just keep that in mind that's okay. Just give it some time, run the report. And if you need to check it, check the export or check the transactions page, and you could easily confirm. Also, one last thing, if you don't actually make a price change, this system will flag it that something has changed. So I changed this from $1 to $1.75. If I changed it from $1 to $1, nothing's going to happen. It's not going to reprice anything because it needs to see a change. So if you change it to $1.01, if you reprice and change it back to $1, then it would go again. But if you're trying to trick it to run it again, you may need to change it and actually make a change before it'll actually trigger again, because it's looking for changes on all these. So if I change this one, but I don't change this, then it's only going to update this. So just so you know how that works, in case you run into an issue and you don't understand why it didn't work. If, for example, I changed this to $2.30, but for whatever reason, my connection timed me out, or I got disconnected from DXFleet and I need to relog back in, and then DXFleet still shows $2.30, but it never changed it, then you may need to come in here, pop in a 1, save it, and then do it again. Just in case you run into a weird issue, it's looking for a difference in order for it to send. So just keep that in mind, that you'll want to give it time to run the report and pop in here and make sure that you got everything correct before you hit go, so that you don't make any errors. And that's how you come in here and reprice existing transactions.